everyone. You're welcome to another session of this course, and in this session we're going to be modeling and programming an aerial lifter. The materials for this session are displayed already. We have our microbit, we have our actuator, and then we have Legos. So let's run through the names of these Legos. What we have here are beams, and then this particular one is called 1x11 beam. 1 from the fact that it is just one column, and 11 from the fact that there are 11 rows there. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then this 1x9 beam. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This 1x7 beam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This 1x5 beam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 1x3. 1, 2, 3. Then we have angular beams here. They are of two different categories. Anyway, we have this one that is usually referred to as 3x5 angular beam. 3 on this side and then 5 here. 3x5. Then we have this one 4x2. 1, 2 here and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4x2 angular beam. We have axles, and they are of different length. We have the axle 8 and the axle 3. The black one here is the axle 8, while the gray is the axle 3. So where did the name come from? When we place an axle side by side with a beam, the number with the axle tells us the number of holes that the axle is going to occupy on the beam. So when we place it side by side on this particular beam, it's going to occupy 8 holes. Then this axle 3, once we place it side by side with a beam, it occupies 3 holes. We also have bushing. We have a gear. We have 3L pins. And then we have axle with pin. We have pins. We have axle pin connectors. So this particular one here has 2 pinholes. While this one has just 1 pinhole. Both of them are axle connectors, but this one has just 1 pinhole. Then we have another kind of axle pin connector here that also has 2 pinholes. And then we have a frame. So now the next thing we want to do is to get into building. So the next thing we want to do is to pick a frame and add 3 pins on each side. So we are going to add it on the other side also. 3 pins. Just like this. So the next thing we want to do is to pick 1x5 beams, 2 of them, and then place both on one on each side. Just so you should have this. So the next thing you want to do is to add the actuator there. But before we place the actuator, we're going to need 2 pins. One here, and then another one here. So we're going to pick the actuator and connect it just like this. Yes. So the next thing we have to do is to pick a pin, place one here, and then we're going to get the actual pin connector, the one pinhole, and then we'll connect it here. Then, so the next one to do is to pick a 1x9 beam, get one axle pin connected here, and then another axle pin here, and then we are going to pick one axle pin connector with two pinholes, connect one here, connect another one here, yeah, just like this. Then we're going to pick that structure back, and then we have this. So the next thing we're going to do is to add 3 pins here, and then we have 1 on this side, we have 2, and then we'll have the last one for this side, 3. So we're going to take one 1x3 beam and then use it to hold 2 of them together like this. Then we'll do it for the other side. Then we'll add the 1x3 beam. So now we have this. So the next thing we're going to do is to pick 1 3L pin. Put one here, put it here. So we'll get another one, connect it here, just a hole in between 2 of them. Then another one on the last hole. So we're going to pick 3x5 beam and then connect it like this. Then we'll add an axle pin here, and then we'll pick 1x5 beam and then connect it like this. So the next thing for us to do now is to pick a pin and then add the pin here. Then what is going to be on this part is the axle pin connector that has 2 pinholes, this particular one. Good. So we're going to pass an axle through it like this. It's going to go straight like this. Yes. So now the parts of the lifter that goes up and comes down is going to be moving along this axle. So we're going to add another axle pin connector, the one with 1 hole here. And then the next thing we need to do is to get this axle pin connector with 2 holes, and then we place it here. So we're going to add 3 pins. So let's make this firm. Very good. So we're going to add 3 pins, 1 on the last part of the 1x5 and then 2 on the axle pin connector. Then we are going to get the 2x4 and then connect it like this. So we're going to pick axle 3 and then connect it to this axle pin connector like this. Yes. So let's come out on the other side. And then we'll add a pin to the 3x5 here. So the next thing we want to do is to pick 1x7 beam. We'll connect one to the axle 3 like this, and then we'll connect another one to the 3x5 like this. So now at the 4th hole of 2 of them, when they cross, a pin is going to connect 2 of them together. So So we're going to pick another pin and then add it to the end of each of them. So take note of the face where the pins are connecting to. So add two more 1x7 beams and then make sure both of them also connect at the fourth hole like this. So we can close this up. Yes. So now we can raise and drop, raise and drop, raise and drop. So we need to add some more things to finish up this. Let's add a gear to the actuator like this. Very good. Then the next thing we want to do is to add a bushing to the end of that axle 3 so that I can hold, so that I can prevent the 1x7 beams from falling off. So let's pick a pin and then add it to the gear like this. And then we're going to add the 1x11 beam. And then we're going to pick another pin and then add it here. Then we connect the 1x11 beam to it like this. Yes. So when the gear spins, it's going to make the 1x11 beam to pull and also push the 1x7 beams, so making them to raise and also drop. That's fine. The next thing we want to do is to pick an axle pin and connect it here. And we're going to connect another 2x4 beam, angular beam to it like this. Then we're going to connect another axle with pin here. And then what is going to be connected to this one is going to be an axle pin connector with two holes, just like this. So we are trying to create the top of the lifter. So the next one to do is to pick two 3L pins and connect one here, connect the other one here, put of them on the 2x4 beam. Then we're going to pick an axle pin connector and then connect it like this. So now the next thing we want to add is to add an axle to pass through the axle pin connector just like this. Yeah, very good. So let's make it come out, and then it's going to enter the last hole on the other axle pin connector. So now we're going to add 1x7 beam here, and then on the other side of 1x7 beam we're going to add two 3L pins like this. Then we get two 1x5 beams, one here and another one here. So the next thing we want to do now is to program the aerial lifter. All right, next we want to do now is to program the aerial lifter. I'm on my browser already, and I'm just going to come to the search bar and enter makecode.microbit.org and then enter. So I'm in already, and I'm just going to click on new project and name it aerial lifter. Then create. Now we will need an extension to control the movement of the actuator for us, because the actuator is going to help the aerial lifter move. So come to extensions and click on the search bar and then enter ring bitcar. So we've added that already. Now we want to, when we press button A, the aerial lifter should lift, and then when we press button B, the aerial lifter should drop. So we'll come to input and drag out on button A pressed. Then we'll come to ring bitcar. We might not need the forever block, so we can delete that, even the on start also. So we'll come to ring bitcar and drag out spin right 0 degrees. So we'll place it inside the on button A pressed, changing 0 to 180. Now we want, when we press button B, the opposite should happen. So we come to input and drag out one button, A pressed. We change A to B, and then we drag out spin right 0 degrees, and then we change right to left 0 to 180, and A to B. Now that's the code. The next thing I want to do now is to test the aerial lifter. So now that we are done programming the aerial lifter, let's test it.